Welcome to Long Story Short. I'm Kejan Haynes. Today we're going to do something we call in the business follow-ups. Remember last week when we brought you Khadijah Amin's Facebook activity in the house? And Camille Robinson Reggie says, oh, I'm going to tell. Well, last Wednesday, she went and did it again. And once again, the speaker cracked the whip.
As far as social media, it may really be the in way of communicating, but members have to respect each other. They have to respect the chair, and they also have to safeguard, as I said on Monday, the dignity of this house. In certain aspects, I think a former speaker used to say, 3 strikes and out. And many of you may be familiar with that former speaker. I just advise the members for St. Augustine, this is strike 2.
Remember we said that there are much better ways to end up before the Privileges Committee? Well, we're going to take a look back at some of them now. But first, just a brief explanation of what the Privileges Committee is. So in Parliament, an MP or a senator is free to say almost anything they want. It's called parliamentary privilege. According to Section 55 of the Constitution, parliamentarians are granted immunity from any criminal or civil proceedings based on what they say. It's how parliamentarians are able to bust a mark on the political opponents. It's why sometimes you'll hear politicians saying, well, come sit out outside the parliament, no?
Come outside and say that. Members?
But as we say often, freedom of speech does not mean freedom from consequence. Now, so if you abuse that privilege, you refer to the committee made up of between 6 to 10 members, including the speaker. Think of it like a mini court hearing. Now, let's get into one of the most recent MP issues where they had to be referred to the committee. Mr. Bussamark himself, Orapooch MP, Dr. Rudal Munilal.
It stemmed from a remark the Orapooch East MP made to Hines, stating, "Snake have led for you." Richard Snake Marcel was the man charged for kicking water on Hines in Beetham Gardens during a flooding incident.
Yeah, Snake has led for you. Now, I'm not condoning any threats of violence, mind you, but if you're going to end up before the committee, throwing literal gun talk seems like a good way to do it. Now, Munilal eventually had to apologize, but not without going through a long, unnecessary fight in the court.
After months of back and forth, Member of Parliament for Orapooch East, Dr. Rudal Munilal, apologized to the Member of Parliament for Laventille West, Fitzgerald Hines, for his "snake has led for you" comment. Dr. Munilal took the matter to the High Court but was denied. Today, MP Fitzgerald Hines got his apology.
With reference to the report of the Committee of Privileges allegation of threatening words dated June 18, 2019, and pursuant to the recommendation therein and without prejudice to my legal matter, I extend an apology to the House and the member for Laventille West for the words deemed threatening.
As Justin Bieber says, all you had to say was sorry. I mean, it really does it. The most the committee could do is suspend you from the House, and they don't actually like to do that because you still have a constituency to represent. All right, next. Anil Roberts, and this is one of my favorite ones. In December 2010, he was referred to the Privileges Committee because he misled the House when he told the Parliament that Nicki Minaj didn't curse when she came and she performed in a concert that was state-sponsored that year. And so, yeah, as you saw, there were a few words thrown here and there. So he actually apologized, but the Speaker Wade Mark still felt that there was a case to be raised, and yeah, the whole thing kind of fizzled out. Honestly, I can't remember what happened. Then there's Patrick Manning. That same year, 2010, he was referred to the committee for statements made about then Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar and the infamous house that she was building.
Works and Transport Minister Jack Warner's argument on a motion of privilege against former Prime Minister Patrick Manning was that he misled the House of Representatives, that he imputed improper motives against the Prime Minister, and that he was grossly and recklessly abusing freedom of speech, all in relation to allegations regarding the construction of a private residence by the Prime Minister and her husband, Dr. Gregory Bissessar. Mr. Warner claimed
the member's statements inferring that the honourable member for Superior, as Prime Minister, is promoting the agenda of drug dealers.
Oh, Jack Warner used to be their friend. All right, so Patrick Manning was eventually suspended, but just for a short time. And of course, who can forget the infamous teacup incident between Dr. Rowley and Chandra Sharma back in 2004. Now, this one is so epic, it didn't even occur in the Parliament chamber. It happened in a side room. See, on September 15th, 2004, then Minister Rowley was accused by MP Chandra Sharma of, among other things, and this is a direct quote from the report, pelting him with a teacup that hit him on his right hand, and then with 2 remote controls and a cordless phone. That is a lot of things to throw. But this, according to Dr. Rowley, came after the word racist was thrown first. And if you listen to Dr. Rowley's events, it's not that he threw, it was more like he angrily just slid it across the table. Long story short, it's a few weeks into the first session of Parliament. The budget hasn't even been passed yet. Khadija Amin, you've made one contribution, and the Speaker is giving you a bligh, the same Speaker that you have repeatedly accused of being biased. So let's get on with the business of the House and leave the snarky comments on social media to people like me. We take a break.